This is Goku-san, DBZ, and welcome back to Top 10 Weekend. This episode is going to be a countdown of my personal top 10 favorite PlayStation 2 games. So, obviously, that means it's going to be strictly my opinion. Bias, obviously. And if you, of course, like this video, please thumbs it up, subscribe, follow me at twitter.com/GokuSenDBZ as well as at Google+, and if you're a troll, take a hike and go bug another YouTuber. And make a jackass of yourself somewhere else. Now with that said, first today will be honorable mentions. The first of which, Soul Calibur 2. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which is the only Grand Theft Auto game I actually like. Tekken 5. Armored Core 2. Dark Cloud 1 and 2. Phantasy Star Universe. As well as Ico, Shadows of the Colossus. Coming in at number 10. From Capcom. Sort of a hack and slash type game. Gameplay is very much like the Devil May Cry games. Now, I personally like this particular game more than the Devil May Cry games, though I know Devil May Cry is overwhelmingly more popular. I feel this is a highly underrated game and a lot of fun. It is called Chaos Legion. Comes in at number 10. Very fun game if you enjoy, as I said, Devil May Cry series. Hack and slash type games, you will definitely appreciate this game. The art style in it reminds me more of like a Final Fantasy game, just artistically. And the cinematics are awesome. And I enjoyed the voice acting job because they used a lot of well-known anime English voice actors to do the characters. So definitely you'll recognize some of the voices. Coming at number 9, from Namco Bandai, or Namco in those days, I feel is one of the more underrated Tekken games in the franchise. Tekken 4 comes in at number 9. Such a good game, and it really is the only game that has no like supernatural powered characters. Yeah, you see in some clips Devil, but you can't actually play as. And in the place of Mokujin in this game, you have Kumbot. And of course a mysterious character known as Violet, which we find out is actually Lee. Coming in at number 8 is a very highly underrated Final Fantasy game in my personal opinion. Sales-wise it did good, mainly in Japan. It did not do well here in the West. And it's got more of an MMO feel to it. Obviously you can tell elements from 11 and definitely elements from 12 played a lot in elements of 14. So now you know. Final Fantasy 12 comes in at number 8. Love this game. I like the characters, and the art style is very different than most traditional Final Fantasy games. If you look at the style, like the facial features, especially with the eye design, very much not your traditional anime look artistically compared to other Final Fantasy games. Coming in at number 7 is from Square. Actually, this was done right at the end of Squaresoft era, but Square Enix. This would start the awesome and amazing crossover franchise, Kingdom Hearts. And it is the original Kingdom Hearts. Comes in at number 7. And of course, we would be introduced to, first time ever, to Kairi, Riku, and Sora. We would also be introduced to these awesome crossovers. Oh yeah, that insanely difficult in the arena, Sephiroth. He's ridiculously overpowered in this game, to say the least. Awesome characters like Ansem, though he's a fake Ansem, he's the Heartless of Xehanort. Yeah, it was more simple story arc in the first game, and then it became overcomplicated, people would say. Coming at number 6, to me, is the last game in the Resident Evil or Biohazard franchise that would actually have real elements of horror. Then be completely mindless action game. The game mechanics in this game are good, yeah, but you could definitely tell this was the game where it was starting to go down action path, but I still enjoyed this game. I enjoyed the characters and the creepiness factor with the backgrounds, the eerie music. It definitely, in the castle parts, still had a true Resident Evil feel. Coming in at number 6 is Resident Evil 4. Coming in at number 5. I think is by far the best of the Soul franchise, with the best in-game fighting mechanics of the franchise, and of course exclusively a PS2, interestingly. Tons and tons of content, as well as many other things, though. I kind of have mixed feelings about the main boss of the game, Abyss. So obviously, number 5 is Soul Calibur 3, and is my number 2 favorite in the Souls franchise. Number 1 favorite is and will probably always be the original Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. Coming in at number 4. This is easily the best Final Fantasy game on the PlayStation 2. And interestingly enough, though, it's definitely not underrated. It's the second best selling of the franchise. At least as of right now, until probably eventually Final Fantasy 15 dethrones it. And that is Final Fantasy X comes in at number 4. Which is definitely a lot of people's favorite Final Fantasy game. Now mine will always be Final Fantasy 8 on the original PlayStation, but Final Fantasy X is very enjoyable, and I like the overall world they introduced, and I like the character Titus as well. He's definitely an enjoyable character in that game, hands down. And Jet, his father, awesome, and you can't beat that awesome metal music in the beginning clip and in the boss battle later on, with, of course, the Black Mages doing the music, which are an awesome Japanese metal band. Coming in at number 3 is actually a tie. The first is hands down probably my second favorite Star Wars game of all time. And that is the original Star Wars Battlefront. Such a fun game. First-person shooter in general. The content, and this is PS2 era, far better than the newer game that came out, which ridiculous amount of price for the crappy DLC packs. That's why I like these older games. Battlefield and Battlefield 2. Great games, lots of content, and definitely worth your time and money, given you can probably get this game for about $10 or so. So, yeah, it's definitely worth picking up, and the price, it's more than worth it. Definitely. And the other game, which is tied at number 3, well, I'll save actually that for later. But coming in at number 2 is another number 2. It's the number 2 in the crossover franchise from Square Enix. It's obvious. Number 2 is my number 1 favorite Kingdom Hearts game. Kingdom Hearts 2. Was not a big fan of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Not a fan at all of that game. At all. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is very enjoyable. We get introduced to, of course, the true Ansem the Wise, which was voiced by the late Christopher Lee. We also were introduced to some new worlds and some older Disney worlds again. We got to find out the original name for Hollow Bastion, Radiant Gardens. And as well as you got to visit the Grid, the world of Tron, which is awesome if you're a Tron fan. Also, Sephiroth is annoying as crap again, but he's not as bad as he was in the original Kingdom Hearts. But he's still ridiculously OP. But I love, this is my favorite villain in the Kingdom Hearts series. Most people are going to choose probably Ansem. My personal favorite has and will always be Xemnas. And our introduction to Organization 13. which is awesome. Plus, of course, you also get to fight in the Hades Cup and stuff, the Underworld Coliseum, which is a lot of fun, and I love the challenge in those games. But it's fun. You also get a certain beloved character from, of course, Final Fantasy X in this game. Hopefully, later on in the crossover Kingdom Hearts games, I'm hoping eventually they introduce a character. We've gotten characters from Final Fantasy 9, Vivi. We also got characters from Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 10. We got characters from Final Fantasy, well, Crisis Core, Zack. Hopefully, eventually, they introduce characters from Final Fantasy 12 and Final Fantasy 13. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they don't introduce Lightning from the 10 trilogy. Coming in at number 1, favorite Tekken game of all time, and favorite PlayStation 2 game of all time. Tekken Tag Tournament comes in at number 1. And is it any surprise, Tekken Tag Tournament is a lot of fun. Such a great roster. Given 2000 when it originally came out, the roster is insanely good with like 36 or so characters. That's really good for that time period. Graphically, it was definitely a leap forward from the prior Tekken 3 on the original PlayStation, though that's also about a 3-year gap. But Tekken Tag was the only game at PS2 launch that was worth honestly playing. Pretty much all other PlayStation 2 games at launch sucked. But that's just my own personal opinion. So take it for what you will. Anyways, I'll get ready to cut up this vlog. And I hope everyone out there, hope you enjoyed. And tell me what are some of your favorite PlayStation 2 games, as well as favorite franchise on the home console, obviously. But I'll see you all next time. And let me know what you think of the background working on, which is I'm putting up some of my favorite personal comic book covers for the background and stuff. Like we have some Spawn comics, The Darkness, some crossovers and other stuff. And on this side, I'm just starting to work on, and I have it completely filled with Street Fighter comics, so you'll have a Street Fighter background to appreciate good Street Fighter artwork. Because I know a lot of you out there that watch my channel are big Street Fighter fans, so I thought you all would appreciate that. But I'll see you all again. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel, and to trolls, get a life.